You are listening to the Lawyer Stories podcast with host Benny Gold. Lawyer Stories was founded in July 2017 on Instagram and is an expanding global network of lawyers and law students sharing their personal journeys to the noble profession of the practice of law. Join us on this podcast as we dig deeper into these stories and hear from lawyers and law students from around the world in all areas of the legal profession. Here at Lawyer Stories, we believe that every lawyer has a story. What's yours?
Welcome to the Lawyer Stories podcast with Benny Gold. Today we have a special guest, and we'll get back to her in just a moment. But first, a message from our partner, CallRail. How many high-value cases did you lose in the past year because your firm couldn't respond fast enough? 81% of law firms say slow response time cost them business, sometimes nearly a quarter of their annual revenue. That's why you need CallRail in 2026. It's going to be integrated into your case management system. CallRail helps you capture every call, even after hours, spot high-value leads instantly, respond faster, and gain the insights that you need to bring on bigger cases. Join over 3,000 law firms using CallRail to follow up faster, land bigger cases, and drive real growth. Contact us. We'll set you up. There's also a link in our post that you can use. Now back to our special guest. Today, our guest is attorney Felicia Williams, founder of Williams Law Firm based in Palmdale, California. How are you?
I'm good. Happy to be here, Benny.
For sure. And as by way of intro, Felicia brings a dynamic background to her practice, from real estate to serving as a deputy district attorney in Los Angeles County to now leading her own law firm focused on estate planning, probate, real estate, contracts, and criminal defense. She's dedicated to providing personalized legal solutions that protect her clients' interests and help them navigate complex legal matters with clarity and confidence. Felicia, welcome to Lawyer Stories.
Thank you.
And also, I love it. And a special thank you for being a member of Lawyer Stories Connect and being a supporter of Lawyer Stories for so long. It's great to finally sit down and do this episode with you.
Absolutely. Long overdue, right?
Long overdue. Long overdue. So let's start from the beginning. Felicia, tell us where you're from. Tell us where you're from first. Let's start there.
Yes, born in Los Angeles.
Nice.
Born in Los Angeles, California. So I grew up in Ohio.
That's pretty cool. So when did you make your way back to LA, the area?
2004.
2004. Okay. So what first drew you towards the law?
So started my career in real estate, and it was a particular skill that I had representing the seller, and their parent had passed away. So probate had to get involved, and having to communicate a lot with the attorney. I'm thinking to myself, Benny, like, I have my bachelor's degree.
Yep.
I can take the LSAT and
There you go.
go to law school. And that's how I got introduced to law.
So like, what was it about those interactions that made you feel that way? Were you just like dominating like the phone calls and stuff? Like, why did you think like you could just go to, take the LSAT? What made you want to do it?
Number one, in real estate, unless you're an attorney, you cannot give legal advice. And that was drilled like from real estate school to mentors, real estate brokers. Don't give legal advice. So that's one of the things, like, if I become an attorney, I can serve my clients better and give them legal advice.
Okay. So you wanted to go to law school, become an attorney, and then sort of weave being an attorney into like representing sellers.
That was my initial thought process. Things changed when I got into law school.
Did you how do you think that would have helped if that plan would have went through? Like, what do you think would have been the benefit of being able to like guide your sellers with legal advice? I mean, is there more of a financial benefit to that for you?
Per se, it could be more of a financial benefit.
Okay.
But the totality of it all with handling the sale and doing the legal work behind it, that can become a bit much.
Okay.
So I say initially, I thought that's what happened.
Right. Right. Okay. So, and speaking of law school, I think like you started following lawyer stories in law school.
I
Maybe
did.
I don't know if you want to speak about that for a minute. Like I have that
I
note.
did.
Yeah.
I First of all, Lawyer Stories is great. It's so inspiring seeing different attorneys and reading their stories that you post on your Instagram. And it's like, wow, it's amazing. Attorneys have so many different backgrounds. So it's amazing to read about that. And I'm like, okay, one day I'll be posted on Lawyer Stories
There you
with
go.
background.
I love that.
That's how that came about.
And here we are.
Here we are.
What was your law school experience like? You went to law school right in LA. So what was it like when you got to law school, your first year and that sort of thing?
My first year was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough. I mentor a couple of girls now, and I try to share with them what I learned. My first question always is make sure you want to be an attorney, because there's no cheat code to law school.
Right.
I'll tell you this, Benny. One now, I almost failed out.
I don't want to say it, but I understand where you're coming from. I'll say that.
And I had a professor who really cared. And they're like, you know what, Felicia, do X, Y, and Z. You got this.
Okay.
And literally took his advice.
Yep.
And he was right.
And so that was the second semester you were able to kind of pull it back around.
Oh yeah, and never let go.
Yeah. No, I mean, it is very difficult. I went to a law school that was sort of known for kind of weeding people out with their curve. And I had a professor too that I just don't think liked guys, even though he was a man. I think he had an issue with people, and he wanted to get rid of some people, I think. So I won't name any names. He's not there anymore, but I just could feel it, but we make it through and you get the degree, and whether you're at the bottom of the class or the top of the glass, you're still a lawyer, and it really just doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So like, what was it like moving on? So you finally, you get your grades, and in the summer, end of the first year, you passed, you're going into your second year. How was it from like second year on?
I enjoyed it. I made great connections with a lot of my cohorts. And a few of them we're still connected today.
Right.
Refer cases.
Yeah. We were talking about that on a podcast some other time, where you go in, for me anyway, and I was a little sort of it was kind of like intimidating. You see all these kids and you don't really, you were not so sure yourself. I had the imposter syndrome, which wasn't named back then, but I did probably have it, and I'm looking around, and it would have been nicer if they facilitated more of hey, these people are not competitors. These are your classmates, and eventually you're going to be referring cases to each other, right? I mean, that's kind of what it could have been all about. And looking back, I feel like that's what it could be like today, 100 years later after I graduated law school. But and you even said that during law school, you had a torts essay that was published. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So the law school I went to required me to sit it's called first year law school exam. The nickname for that is the baby bar. So
okay, yeah, I heard of that in California. Yeah.
Yes, I had to take the baby bar. And when the results came out, I remember this like it was yesterday. I'm like, okay, I hope I pass, because I don't want to have to study for this again. And not only did I pass, great. The state of California releases the questions and the answers on the California Bar website. So just out of curiosity, I wanted to see, okay, what answers were published, right?
Yeah.
And also, I should say, they mailed a copy of my answers to the examination questions. And I'm reading over the torts, and I'm like, that looks like my style of writing. No way. So I grabbed my hard copy. I'm like, wow, that's my essay.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
That's how that came about.
That, I mean, to go from somebody who struggled your first year to be able to say like, "Hey, look at me now!" Like it's something went off and I was able to get this like published. I mean, that's such a big deal.
Yeah.
So what is the purpose of that baby bar? I remember hearing about it in California.
So the law schools that require examination with the baby bar is not ABA.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So you take that and then you just have to take
Continue
the
on
to
to
continue on. All right.
yes. So if you don't pass the baby bar, okay, and this is from my understanding, you cannot continue on in law.
Really? And you don't get to take it again?
You can take it again.
Okay.
I don't know how many times it's allowed or
Okay.
permitted, right? But in order to continue on in law school, you have to pass that baby bar examination.
How often is it offered?
It's been years for me.
Okay.
Either once or twice a year.
Okay. Okay, gotcha. Wow, yeah, that's pretty amazing. Do you know that there's a torts museum, by the way? I kind of want to go at some time. It's in Connecticut. It's kind of far from me, but it looks pretty cool. I don't know. They started posting content on TikTok, and I had heard about it before, but it looks pretty sweet. So shout out to that tort museum. I kind of want to check it out.
This is my first time hearing of such a thing, and I would be excited.
Yeah, it's in like some random part of Connecticut, I think.
Okay.
But anyway, it's kind of cool. I don't know. It looks neat. So anyway, all right, let's get back to we talk about your career in law. You graduate law school. So how was it, the job process? Did your school help you? Did you have a job right away? What happened?
So I'll say this. When I was in law school, I interned with Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office.
Wow.
As a certified law clerk, basically meaning that I could practice law under the supervision of another attorney. So I was able to do the preliminary hearings
Wow. Okay.
throughout my entire internship. And I learned so much, just that experience. And I fell in love with that career. So with that, after passing the bar, and I remember a message an old supervisor of mine, like, I passed the bar. She sent me an application, like, apply here. And I'm like, of course I will,
Yeah.
So submitted the application, and it was a hiring process, but got through it all. So when you ask, how was it like getting a job? For me, I didn't have any difficulty.
So you kept in touch with somebody who was possibly like a mentor or somebody, and you did a good job at your internship. You were doing this, going in court, you were doing pretrial stuff, and then you were able to get a job being a prosecutor.
Yes.
So how long did you stay there, and like what did you learn from that experience?
Oh, I learned so much. Because I was able to do more hands-on things, given the fact that I was now a licensed attorney instead of an intern. Trial prep.
Yeah.
I didn't do that when I was doing preliminary hearings.
Okay.
And just, the caseload it's such an experience. However, you asked, how long did I stay? Sure could have stayed longer. I had health problems.
Okay.
My health problems would not permit me to stay as long as I would have loved to stay. Career. And I loved every minute of it.
Yeah.
And that's how I ended up saying, okay, if I can't do this, what else do I love?
Okay. So was it just like I can't ask you about that. I would just want to, so you left that, but you wanted to do still some other part of the law? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Okay. Did you have any mentors along the way? Like up until this point, maybe the woman from the DA's office?
Oh, I'll say this. The support system is insane.
Okay.
You can't just say, oh, this person was my mentor, that person. No, literally you can ask anyone. It was really a great working environment.
Okay. That's great. Yeah, that's so important. Like when people help each other out and that sort of thing. So, and that's pretty awesome. I mean, you went and you had the confidence to go and be, you were in open court, right? Doing like
Yes.
so like what gave you the motivation and confidence to be able to do that?
I'll tell you this, Benny. You bring up confidence. Okay, so I always came prepared, right? But I used to be so nervous. I used to take a paper clip and I would push on a paper clip with my hand underneath the desk to try
Okay.
to cool off my nerves.
Okay.
Um, and once I did that for quite some time,
Yeah.
like a month.
Yeah.
Uh, but after that, getting over my nerves, then it just went away. I felt even better.
Right.
More
Understood. Understood. Yeah. I mean, when I used to go to court, I used to do landlord tenant. I work in public housing as my full-time job. And, you know, when I used to go to court, I used to wear fake glasses sometimes. So I couldn't even see because they were also like the readers. And I was like walking around like this, but I thought it kind of gave me like a little more like looking sophisticated or something. So I don't know why that was my thing. That was, I used to get very anxious before having to go in there. But, so how did working at the DA's office shape your approach to advocacy?
confidence.
Yep.
Confidence, I would say, is the number one thing for me. It gave me so much confidence knowing that if I'm taking on the responsibility to get justice for victims, I felt that I can do anything in law.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean,
So advocate, and I advocate for my clients the best way I can legally.
yep, agree. So I don't have it here, but like what did you go straight from that office to launching your own firm?
Yes.
Okay, so that's probably why there was like I didn't have anything there. But tell me like what led up to that decision.
It really bothered me that I had to quit my job. Uh, that really bothered me, but I'm like, okay, you know what? Uh, Working for myself, I'm able to take care of myself better. I can,
Okay, it's good.
you know, really focus on my health and create my own schedule and not have to worry about having mounds of cases where I had more control. So that's
Yeah.
what really led to that. Now, was I really nervous doing that? Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. A
So,
buddy of mine, a cohort from law school, she started her own firm and I leaned on her so much. Like,
okay. Yeah. What's the area like? What's the geographical area you're in like for practicing law? I mean, you said before it was 35 minutes or so from LA, no traffic. I know there's crazy traffic in LA. Been there once. But like, what's the geographical area like? Is it suburb? Is it more of like a small city? I'm just
it's
curious.
like a small city.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you were first of all, give me some advice to somebody who's thinking about starting their own law firm.
Starting your own law firm, here's some advice I would give. Uh, Number one, you will have sleepless nights with trying to get your firm off the ground. We're in a digital world, so have a great website,
Right.
have social media.
Right.
Like, this is the digital world. It's not where you're going to pick up a telephone book and look up a law firm if you need legal help, right? Um, and have resources. And what I mean exactly by resources is talk to someone who either practice the same law you practice or even own a firm as well. So that way, I'm pretty sure they would give you the advice of where they struggled with initially. They
Yeah.
can help you go down a road that you don't have to go down, or, you
Right.
know,
So
and network.
network, I think network is huge.
Yes.
Do you think that so when you were going to start your law firm, what were the practice areas that you were going to focus on?
Estate planning.
Just estate planning?
Yes, initially that's
So
where.
how'd you make your way from real estate to DA to estate planning? Was it
Well,
like did it go back to like kind of a lifestyle switch?
you can say that too, because estate planning, it does fit with people who buy homes. Um, it's you never know when someone's last day is their last day. It's just that's
Yeah.
something you don't know, and it's best to be prepared because your family, people who love you, will have to carry the burden of whatever you have left over. So having an estate plan intact is just a smart move. And so that goes hand in hand with people who purchases homes,
Yep.
homeowners,
Yep.
things like that, right? And someone else I went to law school with, they do the same thing in estate planning. They've tried to talk me into this before I even
Okay.
considered having
Okay.
my firm. And just really the how you can really advocate. There's a lot of, believe it or not, litigation that can occur in the realm of estate planning as well.
Sure. Oh yeah. And they're actually attorneys who just kind of specialize in that litigation. I remember having a couple people on who they don't even draft the documents, but I think they do the litigation that comes with it if there's like a big will contest. So how did you just like? I mean, I've thought of doing like all these different things, but how did you say to yourself, okay, like this is how I do it? Like, how did you learn how to do estate planning before coming over from DA's office? Were you using forms? Did you come up with like a spreadsheet? I mean, a sheet that you give your clients? Did you talk to somebody? Like, how did you know how to do it?
Good question. Okay. A lot of logic and reasoning. A lot of asking my cohort who does estate planning, like, what do you do? And I learned in law school that put everything in writing, everything. So talk about fee agreements, uh, consultation fees I put in writing. So it's just like, okay, I just want to make sure I'm covering every base. I have so many books that even what is free time? Seriously, what is free time? When I go on vacation, I'm going to bring a book just to keep reading, right? So just a lot of research, reading, and talking to people that I know.
Yeah. Okay. So what would you say some of the biggest challenges in launching your practice have been?
Biggest challenges, I'll tell you this. What if I don't get any clients? Who's
Yeah.
going to pay my rent?
Yeah. No, that's I think that's a very valid challenge there. So you got to really hustle. Like you said, you're up all night. You're, the sleepless nights. Where's my next client coming from? That sort of thing. So what would you say is something that about running a law firm that most people don't fully understand?
Hmm. We as attorneys, okay, don't judge me here, Benny. You ever have anyone like, oh, can I ask you this question? Can I ask you that? And it's like, okay, just because
Yeah.
you're a lawyer don't know doesn't mean you know
They're
every.
asking you about specific statutes, like in
Yes.
in like Montana or something. I know it's crazy, right?
Yes. Yes. So I mean, gotten that often, and it's just like, don't want to come off being brash, but it's just I got to a point I'm not sure. I will have to look that up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, of course. Like that's the best answer. I mean, you got to go look, you got to research and get back to somebody. I mean, lawyers are master researchers is like sort of the way I look at it, right? Finding the answer,
Yes.
presenting it. Um, so you're really focused on estate planning now, right? I mean, I know
I
you've
am.
taken some other cases along the way. Um, Tell us who's coming to Felicia Williams for for their legal work to be done. Who's coming through that door? Who's calling you? Who needs to seek you out?
Well, here's the thing. Number one, they need some type of legal help. So this is what they're contacting Williams Law Firm for. They want to set up a will. or they want to set up a trust, or even have a power of attorney created. All of that, for example, it requires a consultation. Talk about power of attorney. I need to make sure it's reasonable to me to believe that you're competent, because if you're not, okay, do we have a possible conservatorship issue here? Also, litigation, civil litigation, specifically if someone has been served with a lawsuit. Okay, number one, I need to look at that complaint to see when, or look at your summons as well. When were you served? Because there's a time frame of when this person can respond.
Right.
And I would need to know, okay, this is something that my firm will help with, or if not, I will let you know immediately. So that way you can find an attorney who may be able to help you.
So are you drafting the documents for somebody who needs like the power of attorney, the will, the trust? And are you also going to bat, like litigating for the challenges that might arise from those documents?
Yes and yes.
Okay, so you're doing kind of full service estate planning. What do you do with like like I'm not a numbers guy. Like what do you do when like the taxes are too high and like you're trying to figure out like the taxes in a trust, or like it's going to implicate some sort of like state law because this person has like tons of money, or how does that work? Do you have to do you have to bring in like an accountant or somebody else?
Good question. I always say in my fee agreements, no tax advice is given. I do not play with that. However, I say seek an accountant, a CPA, for any questions you have, concerns in regards to your numbers. I don't.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with that. So when somebody comes in and they're like, "Hey, Felicia, I need a will," I'm like in my 30s or 40s. What do you do? What's your process? Do you give them I feel like some attorneys should give them like a survey to get the stuff, get a lot of the info. Like, what's your process?
Consultation. And during the consultation is where I provide one-on-one communication with this prospective client, because they haven't hired me just yet. They've only hired me for the consultation. So, okay, you have, excuse me, for example, you have this property and you have this amount of bank accounts, you have 2 children, and so forth. Okay, now with a will, it still has to go through probate. Would you be interested in creating a trust, which minimizes probate?
Okay.
And we'll go from there, whether, okay, sure, yes, let's move forward with a trust, or no, I think a will at this time is the best move for me. So
Okay.
that's how I approach that.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. What do you think is why should people of any age have those documents? What's so important? Why can't they just go into like Staples or an office store and grab like one of those documents off the rack offline and fill it out?
Having an attorney, we're looking over everything. And nothing against those pre-generated documents, but no one is really helping them with that. Do you know what questions to answer? Do you know exactly what you need to include in there that would best benefit you?
Yeah. Okay.
It's more
Definitely.
knowledge and support. I mean, we went to law school. We have the education to thoroughly understand what it is that we're reading and what it is that we're preparing.
Totally. And you said probate isn't just about cost. What do people not understand about it?
It can, and I've seen an emotional toll. Take an emotional toll. And I don't know about the courts where you're at, but here in Los Angeles County, things can be months. Right. Because, for lack of better words, unfortunately, the courts are a bit clogged, a bit busy.
Mhm.
So that time factor as well.
Yeah, no, totally. And like, so what would you say some of the emotional real life impacts of families during the probate process are?
Here's this person didn't even like that person. Why should that person get anything from their property? Why should they get any of their money? They haven't seen this person in 15 years, and now all of a sudden, those type of things.
Right.
It's a lack of the decedent's intent.
Right, right. I don't know why this struck me, but what were you doing during COVID? Like, were you building your firm during COVID, or were you seeing clients over like virtually?
No, during COVID, I was in law school.
Oh, wow. Okay, you've been all right. That was a while ago, I guess. COVID. All right. Strike that question,
That
Felicia.
way.
Strike that question. I was actually just starting the podcast around that. Okay, you were in law school. Wow. All right. So you mentioned estate disputes families like never see coming. Like, what would you say some of the common causes are? You kind of just touched on it, like, hey, this person hasn't seen this person. I don't even give a crap about this person. Why should they get on the money? Is there anything else around there?
Just things that the thing is, we don't know the decedent's intent.
Yeah.
We don't know their intent. And I want to take that response and circle back to when you mentioned or inquired about like generated forms. As an attorney, I know as for me, how I operate, I take notes. I
Yeah.
take notes of when the client is in my office or when I speak to them on the phone, I have notes. So I can gauge, and even speaking with my clients, okay, I know I'm aware of their intent. Whereas without any form of estate planning, whether it be a will or a trust, there no one knows the decedent's intent and will never know it because they're the decedent.
Got it. Yeah, I'm a big note taker too as well. What would you say the best way to get business is? Do you think it's lawyer to lawyer? Do you think it's social media? What's your best way to do it? Word of mouth, referrals?
When I first started my firm, I'll tell you this, word of mouth is still gold, still gold. Um, I'm going to circle back to when you asked what would I tell someone who is thinking about having their own firm. Network, net.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yes, word of mouth and attorney. I had a few referrals come my way from another attorney as well.
That's
And
good.
social media. I have a seminar coming up, an estate planning seminar,
Amazing.
and this is people who's volunteering to, come in to learn, but that's another opportunity to obtain business.
Yeah. So tell us about your seminar.
This seminar, so it's titled Protect Your Assets. And
Love that. That's great.
yes, and I'm partnering with the founder of a real estate firm. She's going to discuss the home property purchasing and what you can do once you buy a home or if they're interested in buying a home. And then after her session, I'll take over with the estate planning factor. Once you have this property, God forbid, the buyer, the new owner could pass away the next day. So have your estate plan in order because if not, things can go haywire.
Right. Yeah, totally. Is this a CLE?
No, it's not.
Well, when you get the image or something, send it to us on Instagram and we'll post it in our stories or something because this will probably air after that, I'm guessing. So keep us in mind for some extra promotion maybe if we can. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on social media these days? Like with attorneys and like what to do and what not to do? And like, are you trying to do a lot? I know we appreciate you being a Lawyer Stories insider. We love that, actually. So what are your thoughts about it?
My thoughts about attorneys and social media. You know what? Just don't do anything that uh could get you disbarred or, jeopardize your case. I think social media is great because everyone has the internet literally in the palm of their hand.
Right.
Um, it's great to network. That's how social media is how I came across Lawyer Stories.
That's true. That's
So
true.
it's an amazing way to network and meet attorneys you would have never met
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Think also, especially for attorneys who have their own firm, it's an amazing way to connect with potential clients. I'm a firm believer that before someone decides to hire an attorney, they're using the internet to look up the attorney, look at their
Totally.
social
Yeah,
media,
totally.
look at their website,
Yeah.
So I think it's more good than any bad whatsoever.
So one thing I did want to mention too is if you ever see anybody, in your area or elsewhere that you think, you would benefit from knowing, I'm happy to make a warm introduction if I know them. So if you see them on, we've featured them or I had them on the podcast, you're like, hey, this person seems interesting. Like I want to meet them. I'm happy to do it for you.
I appreciate that. I'm going to take you up on that offer, Benny.
Yeah, of course. Of course. So how would you say proper estate planning can help avoid disputes that families never see coming?
Proper estate planning can help avoid because it literally explains, it's thorough with the decedent's intent, what their intentions are. That's how, and there's no questions asked about it. And when things are drawn up the way it's supposed to be drawn up, okay, you can't contest it unless there's a valid reason. It has to be a valid reason for a trust to
Right.
be contested. It needs to be a valid reason for a will to be contested, but more especially in regards to a trust.
Right. Right.
And I just want to say too,
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
important to review. So if someone creates a trust in year one and they get a divorce in year two, do you really want to have your ex inherit whatever it is you
Yeah.
initially said they could have? So
Right.
trust review
Yeah.
at least yearly, once a year.
Yeah. Agree. Right. I mean, it's good to have a lot of your documents reviewed. People really should be doing that. So how is selecting the right trustee, and how important is selecting the right trustee, and like, what should people be looking for?
Oh, trust. People should look for trust and honesty because
Yeah.
trustee, the right trustee will make sure uh, what is supposed to go to the beneficiaries, they get what they receive, right? They take care of the trust property. And when someone creates a trust, technically is no longer their property, that's property of the trust. So that property has to be maintained. And it's the job of the trustee to maintain it. More often than not, the trustee is the person who created the trust. And sometimes a trustee with the settler who created the trust, right? They may opt to have someone else to be the trustee.
Yeah.
Again, trust and responsibility. Now, if we're talking about the successor trustee, um, of course, when the person who created the trust, when they pass away, again, trust. I recommend having absolute trust in this person.
For sure. For sure. I like that. So you emphasize, as you just did, trust and transparency. How do you build that with your clients?
Number one, here's a good example how I build it with my clients. So with my fee agreement, you're not just signing off on the signature page. No, we sit in my office and we literally go over the entire agreement. And after each paragraph, do you have any questions you would like for me to answer, and so forth? And I have them initial every paragraph.
Okay,
Very
that's good.
transparent.
Yep.
Whether it's something that my client would rather not hear, you're not hiring me, to appease how you feel. You're hiring me for a job.
Right.
Very transparent. My clients know I would do everything I can legally to advocate on your behalf.
Sure.
So that's what I
Great.
believe what my clients perceive of me.
Yeah. I mean, and so I think you sort of answered it, like how you help clients feel more confident navigating complex legal situations, like going through items thoroughly and,
Yes.
like, yeah. Would you say you miss going to court a lot?
I do. I still go to court often.
You do? Okay.
My litigation cases. So, for example, I have a hearing coming up next week.
Nice.
I'll have to look at my calendar to tell you exactly what day. But I've had a lot of hearings this year thus far. So I do enjoy court. I really do.
What are most of the cases that you have in court?
Civil negligence.
Okay.
Mm,
Do you think you'll like kind of go into any other area besides estate planning? Like, do you see yourself in the next 5 years doing something like that?
The next 5 years, estate planning is what I foresee.
Okay, that's good. I like it.
Estate planning.
I
And
like
probate,
it.
of course.
Probate. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So, did we miss anything today? Like, I don't know if we covered everything. If there's something that we didn't cover that you wanted to cover, Felicia.
It sounded like we covered everything.
So tell us this. For someone listening who hasn't started planning yet, what's the first step they should take?
The first step they should take is reach out to an attorney, reach out to a firm. And if you're in Southern California, reach out to Williams Law Firm. We can be found at www.williamslawfirm.law.
That's awesome. Felicia Williams, thank you so much. Did I miss anything? Did you want to say anything else? Any words of wisdom for the Lawyer Stories community?
Yes, what a great group that we're a part of.
Oh, thank you.
Constant group. And let's continue to communicate with each other and interact.
That's awesome. Thanks, Felicia.
I'm so happy to be a part of Lawyer Stories.
So kind and sweet. And we hope
It's
to have
true.
What's that? I'm sorry.
No, it's true. What a great group. What a great attorney group to be a part of.
Thank you very much. And we hope to have another episode with you too at a later date. Please stay right there. Felicia, everybody else, thanks for tuning in. Thanks to our guest, Felicia Williams, attorney and founder at Williams Law Firm, Southern California, estate planning. Everybody else, wherever you are in the world today, enjoy yourselves. Cheers.